So, and I was like, your mom has three girls. Your mom is reading. Your mom is lecturing. All of that. I found it fascinating. It was mind blowing. Like, okay, a woman can be more than just being a mom.
Yeah.
You're telling me a woman can be more than that. I think the very first step, which a lot of people want to skip, because even I nearly skipped it, is the ability to look inwards. You have to look inwards. Nobody can do it for you. Just people who have messaged me on LinkedIn currently, and I was so happy to see that. The first person said, I'm ridiculously happy
Oh,
with how much you've grown. Like,
Jumai, thank
yeah.
you for being on this real life reflections.
Hmm.
Um, what do I call it now? Real life reflections page. Because this is like a new page I created on my
Yeah.
YouTube. And I think I mentioned in my video when I was, basically introducing this new series
Mm-hmm.
that what I want is for people to be able to hear other people's story
Mm-hmm.
and learn from it.
Yes.
And you are one person that I can tell your journey
Mm-hmm.
from many years. And honestly, not very many. I would probably say 4 5 years, because I think I met you at a point where you were still very green, you know,
Yes.
very green. And one of the things that sort of kept you in my circle and me in your circle is your ability to ask questions, mostly the right questions, and your quest for knowledge, your quest for growth, and knowing how much you have changed over the years. And this
Yeah.
is not small change. I thought to invite you here so that if anybody is thinking, about how do I become that kind of person? How do I become so knowledgeable? How do I become a person of influence, a key person of influence? How do I grow to the point that I can also share something? How do I start? What do I do? What basically prompted you, you know, to go on this journey of personal development?
Okay.
What are those things that influenced you? Were there a point where you were lost, and then you were finding something?
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be good if you start from there. You
Okay.
know, of course, if you want to, you're free to introduce yourself. But one thing I want this episode to be about is I don't want this episode to be about, oh, I'm the CEO, CFO. I want it to be
Yeah.
as real as it can be, as real as it can be, so people can connect with that story.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So, my darling Jemai, over to you.
Thank you for having me here. And I'm sure you can tell by my numerous voice notes and messages to your WhatsApp that I've been looking forward to this day. So for people listening to me, my name is Jumai. I'm currently a QA analyst. That's a software tester. A fancy name for software tester. That's how. I'm a chartered accountant, and I just love being Jumai. Bubbly, learning. I think those things fuel me a lot. I don't take life too seriously, but at the same time, I know when to put my head down, and focus on the things that I like to do. Now, to this question, to be honest, looking back, I do feel like there was a time I was lost, to be
Yeah.
sincere. And I think that was from 20, I don't know if it's 16 or 17 now, but either of those two. And I think it also, maybe one of my answered prayers was the day Sadiq said, you need to read Unclip Your Wings.
I
So
remember.
I know that right after school, I just I wanted that kind of profile where if you hear my name, I would interest you. I didn't want to be that boring. Oh, she has an MBA. She has BSc and then she's going for doctorate. I just always knew I didn't want that kind of profile. But I
Yeah.
wanted a profile that would speak profoundly and people would want to
Yeah.
connect with me. I
Yeah.
don't know if you know Jemima Osunde, the actress.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yes.
know
Have
her.
you ever read her profile?
No, I haven't.
Oh my God. So she is a physiotherapist, right? She
Okay, I
studied
think I know that.
physiotherapy from school. She's an
Yeah.
actress. She's a model. She's an entertainer. That kind of all round package
Yeah.
is what I had always envisioned for myself. But I sincerely did not know how to articulate that into writing. But I had a vivid picture in my head.
Yeah.
So finishing from school, I felt like NYC was what would I do with myself? But I knew that all of those side we were learning, it wasn't for me. I wanted more. I always have the feeling that I should be more. I would want to do more. So moving forward, NYC was 2016, 2017, 2018-ish. From there, I came across Unclip Your Wings. Then from Unclip Your Wings, I met you. I don't know if you recall our meeting in your office.
I remember.
It's so funny how I think I paid over 30,000 naira to get an Uber guy waiting just for me to meet you.
Really?
Sadiq found it stupid. I don't know if you ever recall, but he found
Really?
it
You didn't
very
tell me
silly.
this.
Like, you shouldn't pay that heavy. And I'm like, no, you told me she's around today. I have to meet her. I just have to meet her. So, and then when I spoke with you, I remembered you had that sense of, this girl wants something, but she's not very sure what this thing is yet. But somehow let's try to navigate how you can break down whatever you're feeling, and from there we'll move forward. So not to bore anyone, you started communicating with me on WhatsApp, and I would just always tell you, I want to do something. And you're like, you still have to narrow it down. What is that thing? What is that thing? Some days you're in the car and you're like, okay, sorry, I've had a busy day, but I'll just send you this voice note. You sent me the purple sheet. Do you remember?
Yeah, the purpose
Yeah.
discovery sheet.
Yes, I
Yeah.
walked through that, and you were like, I can tell you are onto something, but maybe just play around this for now. And that kept on going. Then go quarters, I got introduced to the annual event, quarterly events like that. And I knew that my salary was not enough, but I would beg you. I said I will hide my shame and come to you. I
You
cannot
know, you,
you can't shame me shameless. I cannot afford it. The worst you will tell me, sorry, not a good time.
you
But
know
I'm
that's
so
one thing.
grateful.
That's one thing I always remember. And I remember that Mrs. Yonju
Yeah.
Olomola would also say this, that she would prefer to give discounts to people that are eager and are happy and are really searching for that knowledge. Because most people just like the idea of success. They like the idea of growth. They like the idea of financial freedom, but they are not
Mhm.
ready to put in the
The
work that it
work.
takes, and they are not ready to invest in it. So if there is one thing I remember about you, all those events, you would always come back to say, yeah, I want to come,
I want to go.
but I don't want to pay full price.
Like, I will be like, after thinking so long, I'm like, I want to send Adebola another episode, and I'm praying to God she doesn't feel like I'm exploiting her, but then I will still try. I think the first point of courage for me was telling Sadiq, and I was like, Sadiq, I really want to do this, and it's like, Debola can be understanding. Just try your luck. If your mind goes for it, try your luck. And I'll say, okay, let me just try. And I'll go back to him again. Remember, I told her I wanted discount the last time. Would she be comfortable giving me discount again? It's like, still try again. And I will still try again. And luck will shine. And I'll be like, yes, I'm there. I remember there was one particular session. I left the house for the office on a weekend. And I can't remember what event was happening for the management cadre. And everybody would trip in and see me and like, what are you doing here? Why are you here? And I'll say, you don't understand, sir. Oh man, I need to receive value. This place is giving me value.
Yeah.
And then they are just wondering, okay, what could be so precious to me, for me to be there. But I'm the one who knows the value I'm seeing, and it has stayed with me through and through. Um, I don't think I can tell my full story without ever mentioning coming across you, crossing paths with you. I know sometimes people will think, it's cliche, it's cliche, it's cliche. But to be sincere, I felt like Unclip Your Wings was an opening for me. And again, drawing back to the time where I was lost. So I joined GQ, I think, was it 2018 now? No, 2017, 2018.
Yeah, it
And
should be
then I
around that
followed
time.
through till I think 2021 December, because I remember the annual planning growth, that growth
Yeah,
story. I
yeah.
still use it till today. So I remember writing it in a notepad, but that was the last time I remember like joining a session or something. And I think after that was when you also relocated. So we lost touch. And I can tell you that between that 2021 and 2020, yeah, 2024, early part of this year, I still had that quest in me again. Like, I know I can be more. I just don't know what to do to be more. I didn't have that clarity, but I knew that I wanted to be more. So
Let me let me
there's
let me
this,
cut let me cut
yeah,
in here, Jumai, just to ask.
yeah,
When you say I want to be more, where is this coming from? And usually I like asking this question because not everybody has that drive of I want to be more. You're a chartered accountant, you are, you know, software analyst, you are QA tester. Is that what you call it? Yeah,
yes,
and for some people, they are just okay with that, you know, that title, that qualification. They're just okay. They just want to earn money from what they've done. If you go back to your childhood, has there been anything or anyone that has influenced that I want to be more? You know, because again, you don't find it's not common. It's not common that you find people saying, I want to be more. I think a lot of people these days are okay with the average. So where is that I want to be more coming from?
okay. So it's I would date it back to two people. One is my mom, and the other person is a friend. Should I call her a friend? We were peers in junior secondary. Her name is Bolanle Abdulakim Akombi. I think that's her name. She's a veterinarian now. I remembered. It's so funny. I don't think even she would ever recall. I remember there was a day she came into school and she went, oh, my mom gets us to mark scripts for her. She's a lecturer in Uni Abuja. I don't know if she's still lecturing there now. And I was like, really? She was like, yeah. Do you remember that book I brought yesterday? It's from my mom's shelf. And I was like, your mom reads? And she said, yes. So, the interesting thing for me is that I think the mom has three girls or four, but I remember vividly three, but I can't remember if there's a fourth one because that one was much younger. I really can't remember, but I remember vividly three. That's Bolanle, Rohima, the sister. I think they're just 2 years apart. And then there was a third girl, I can't remember her name. We call her Yoruba name, I can't remember. So, and I was like, your mom has three girls. Your mom is reading. Your mom is lecturing. All of that. I found it fascinating. It was mind blowing. Like, okay, a woman can be more than just being a mom.
Yeah.
You're telling me a woman can be more than that. And she went on. So I started to pay attention to what she was saying more. And I would find that in every sentence, something will connect with her mom. So our mom, oh my god, my mom bought us this. My mom took us here. My mom, we just have this new collection, and I loved it so much. So I remember one time the mom came to pick them up from school, and she had this. I don't remember the color of the dress now, but I know it was a knee length. So it could either be a skirt or a gown, but it was pleated, at the bottom. And she had this cut shoe, and she walks in, ebony skinned lady. And I was, when you have that moment, and I looked and I said to myself, I said, this is going to be me, where I can stride in, and I would have that confidence. And when you hear my story, you'll be amazed. I just knew that that was going to be me. Now, for the part where my mom comes in, my mom is like the biggest cheerleader I have. She's always at the forefront of even when we disagree, my mom carry my matter on her head like this and say, no, I know this to be you. So, and I remember very well, my mom from an early age has always known that she wanted to have me reading. She encouraged buying books for me. Anywhere she goes, I think people now will probably would think it's too educational, kind of motherish. But I don't know whatever she had in her mind. Maybe someday I'll sit her down and we'll talk through this. But I remember she would always, every opportunity she had, she would buy me books. And I used to love it. I looked forward to it. I think into my teenage years, I had some of those books. Like I guarded them so much in my life. I kept on to them until this day. She's always there, like, Jumai, I know you can do this thing. What do you think? Or Jumai, why did you stop reading? My mom's quite observant. I noticed you stopped reading. Is there an issue? Or I don't see you doing this. So that's a zeal as well for me. And I know that there's also this day in particular. I don't know if it's a birthday or my brother's or my dad. But my dad has this culture where on someone's birthday we all go out to an eatery to, feast, and just his way of celebrating. And we went that day. It was former Mr. Biggs. Anybody who knows Abuja, Gwarimpa precisely, will know where former Mr. Biggs was at 3rd Avenue. And we're going out, we're done, and she said, look back. So I looked behind, and it was the security guy opening the door. And she said, I'm not trying to be condescending, but if you do not pay attention to what you want to do, your growth in life, you may actually become someone's, door opener. And I said to myself that day, okay, I didn't understand then, what
Yeah,
that analogy was, but
yeah.
I remember saying to myself, I must have money in this life. And that has really kept me going. So till today, I'm always thinking, okay, if my mom were to be in this capacity, what would she do? What would she say?
Yeah,
I think in summary, those two people have been my
yeah,
biggest influencers. And
yeah,
um, when I also met, no, before I met you, I read your profile every single place I could
yeah.
find, and I was like, okay, this is,
I call you monitoring spirit.
I'm there. Anywhere I see Adebola's name, I am there. So I think for me, it's just okay. These people are showing that this thing is possible. So if they are doing it, they don't have two heads. What are they doing in particular to make it possible? I think that's just it for me. And um, inside of me, I never feel, not to say I'm not contented with certain things, but there's this nudge inside of
Yeah,
me as well that lets me know that, okay, we need to move, Jumai. We've had enough time here. So I don't know
yeah,
if it works for everybody, but for me,
yeah.
that's the summary of what fuels me.
So let me ask you.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that, by the way. I think what really caught me was when you said, "Oh, I didn't know a woman can be
Mm-hmm.
more
Yes.
than being a mother."
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, that struck a chord because I think some people still have, sadly, some people still have that notion that, you know, women
It all
should
ends at
only
motherhood.
be a mother. you know. And at that young age, for you at that young age, to think that, you know, I can imagine how big, that influence from her
Oh,
has
it
been.
is.
So you want to be more.
Yeah.
And I can tell because I can see that transformation from being lost to gaining your clarity,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to that continuous improvement. I remember in Atomic Habits, one of the things James Clear talked about is that 1%,
Yeah.
improvement, the power of tiny grains.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell from the way you read books, from the way even the conversations in go quarters, I can
Yeah.
tell that it is miles apart from where you used to be. How would you know when you get to where you're going? What would tell you, yes, this is everything I've been wanting?
Okay.
Is it a position in life? Is
Mm-hmm.
it certain amount of money? Is it influence? What is it? What would let you know? Or tell me if you're there already. If you're not there,
Okay.
tell me how would you know
The
you've
matrix
gotten
I'm
there?
using to judge that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think my life is in stages and phases. And the more that I wanted the last 2, 3 years is what I have now. So there's this sense of innermost peace I feel. I do not know how to tell anybody other than I just feel this peace inside of me that, okay, yes, that thing I felt like I needed more for, I have gotten it. Now, moving forward, that thing I want going forward, I haven't gotten it. And what is that? I think my next target is that I want to I want to see myself grow at least 3 steps faster than where I would have if I stayed,
Yeah.
just waiting for time to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's how I'm judging it. Then also, um, I believe that how I would judge from where I am now, coming from the past, is now my ability to break down my goals. Before I would just slam a goal on the book and say, "Ah, this is what I want." But auntie, how will you drive it? What's the vehicle driving this? What are the things you need to consider to be sure that, okay, this thing will not flop? So now I feel like I have so much clarity on that. One of the ways I achieve this is I have a journal, right? And in my notepad, every single day you see a time allotment for something. So as I'm executing that, I'm ticking it off. I'll send you a picture after this. I'm executing, I'm ticking it off. And I just feel very happy and productive. Like, okay, yes, I said I was going to read 5 pages of a book today. I've done that. Jumai, that's a win. That's
Yeah.
all I know. That is a win for me.
Yeah.
Then, other than that, I know that it's important to me to, as others have touched my life, I want to equally touch someone else's life, in a
Mm-hmm.
similar manner. I don't have gold, I don't have silver, I don't have
Mm-hmm.
diamond, but the lessons I've learned from others, I'm willing to also share. And I think that is coming to fruition. There are two people who have messaged me on LinkedIn currently, and I was so happy to see that. The first person said, I'm ridiculously happy
Oh.
with how much you've grown. Like, this person started from my first post and liked it to my most current post. I'm not sure. I think the only person I've done that to is you.
Monitoring
I'm
spirits.
telling you. So when that happened, I couldn't just help but smile. Like, okay, so somebody is saying, I'm not doing it for the FEZ. I'm not doing it because I want to attract people.
Yeah.
Anybody who is close to me knows that the aim of me keeping a social account is for memory's sake. I
Yeah.
want to be able to go back and look at
Yeah.
how I've transitioned. That's is like my archive, basically.
Yeah.
So for somebody to go through that stress, to go and like my post from 2017 or 18, and this 2024, no, I've made it. I just, oh no, I felt like a celebrity that day. And the other guy said to me, it was like, I'm grateful that you're putting this thing out for QA, people who are in the industry, to also take from your story. And I was like, that's another lens. Because I didn't think anybody would want to follow my journey. I just thought, okay, I'm putting out my journey and it's fine. If you like it, like it. If you don't like it, don't like it. But all I just know
Yeah.
is that I want to be able to sit with myself and look back and say, Jumai, so you know book like this. You posted this. Eh? There are sometimes I read some posts I make and I'm like, who taught me this English? So yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
No, this is really interesting to hear. And
Yeah.
now that you touched on what the messages people are sending to you, I'm
Yeah.
curious. I like saying it, and I'm sure you must have seen it on Go Cutters that
Yeah.
some people just make some bold career moves.
Mm-hmm.
I remember this year, earlier this year, I was talking to someone and I said, you can actually look for other things to do if you cannot get the job that you're looking for in the accounting field.
Mm-hmm.
You can just check, is there something else that interests you? And then she said she has already spent a lot of years in accounting, she's done audit, she's at this point, she doesn't want to move. And then I told her something I learned from, I don't know if you know Deborah
Okay.
David on LinkedIn.
Mm.
She's also a complete
Now,
sweetheart.
now, yeah.
I attended one SSA program. She was
Okay.
also a speaker. I think I was
Was this not
what
like
was
3 months ago? I think you shared the
yeah,
flyer.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And then she said something during that program. She said, your destiny is not tied to the profession
Hmm.
or the course that you studied in school.
Yeah.
So I said it to that person also to say, your destiny is not tied to
Tired.
this. You can change course at any point in time.
Yeah.
And my question to you, what encouraged you? What, because you started with accounting, you're even a qualified accountant, and then you moved into the tech space.
Mm-hmm.
What was that inspiration? What pushed you to do that? I'm really curious to know.
Okay. It's a name. It's a
It's a
name.
what?
A name. A name in
A
form of a
name.
colleague. And his name
Okay.
is Paul Oludele. So he was in this quest of, before I go into that, I have been an ardent believer in the fact that that adage of the you are the average of the five people you surround yourself with. It
Yeah.
is true. Anybody should go and make a search and even implement it and see how valid that thing is. It is no lie. So
Yeah.
Paul is someone who was a boss to me, like a senior line manager at
Yeah.
work, but so humble and relating. And I
Yeah.
remember, maybe he deduced from when I speak as well.
Yeah.
He likes the fact that I like reading. I didn't know
Yeah.
that he's also a bookie when we
Yeah.
started conversing. And from there, we just talk, babe, what do you want? He gets me to talk openly because I feel like, okay, this is one person who is not judging and
Yeah.
makes it its call of duty to say, you know what, you want wings to fly. I will
Yeah.
give you that air and I will
Yeah.
push you,
Yeah.
fly. And I was always telling him, I've been doing this accounting thing for a while now. I don't know. I don't know. It was always that, I don't know, Mr. Paul. I don't know. I want something. I want something. So one day he sat with me and was like, babes, what do you think you want to do? I said, I don't know, but I'm thinking maybe if I can look for something closely related with accounting in tech, since tech is the trend, why should I sit at the back and be waiting for people to be moving ahead? And he went, you're sure you want to do this? I said, yes. but I don't know what to do, I don't know. And he said, okay, no problem. The next time we would have a conversation, babe, how far? You've been telling me about something you want to do. What plans are you making or what moves are you making? And I just told him, oh, same old, same old. I don't know, but I want to do something with my life. Like I want it very bubbly and going. So one day at work, Diary of a Kitchen Lover posted about a tech academy.
Yeah.
And I went to him and I said, oh, Mr. Paul, I'm seeing this thing. It's even a competition, right? I would like to put in an entry for it. And he said, sure, 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 sure. Go ahead. Go ahead, babes. Just tell me what you need. He calls me babes. Go ahead. Tell me what you need. Tell me what you need. So I said, you know how to speak plenty English now. Me, once I write, you help me edit it. So he said, okay, he was fine with that. I wrote the essay and it was like, you like telling stories. As I read a lot of books now, maybe I should just try. Let me
Yeah.
see if you can
Yeah.
convince anybody. I remember the beginning was about how my dad, introduced me to the prudency concept
Yeah.
and like that. And I just wrote why I wanted to transition into tech, what I was looking for. I didn't get shortlisted, but he pushed me to pay for the classes,
Yeah.
right? And that was how it started. And he made it a call of duty on himself to always check with me every single time. Babe, are you learning this thing? Oshon learn. Okay, tell me, what have you learned? Call me, come and teach me.
Yeah.
He was someone that even when I feel like, Mr. Paul, Kinile, I don't think I want to learn how to code. Is there
Yeah.
like, you will learn it. The people
Yeah.
who are learning it or who have learned it,
Yeah.
you don't have to head. You see this your head, put your hand on it. How many there? Feel it is one. Babe, you will learn it. And
Yeah.
he's been everly so supportive. So I think if not for him, I probably wouldn't have taken that decision.
Yeah.
And when it seemed like he was choking me last year, he was still
Yeah.
there to tell me, all you need to do is breathe. You will do it. Why shit
Yeah.
people have done it? You
Yeah.
will do it.
I
Okay,
think
what
we
do you
all
need
need
me
that
to
kind of
help you
person
with?
in our
Yeah,
space.
so he was never there to say, even when I tell him I'm tired, he's like, you are only tired because you are now forcing yourself to learn and you need that stretch.
Yeah.
So that's what
Yeah.
you're feeling. Every time
Yeah.
you're tired, remember that you're stretching. You're
Yeah.
becoming a beautiful butterfly in its
Yeah.
cocoon. He
Yeah.
never forgets to emphasize that to me.
Yeah.
Just remember, Jumai, you will do it. Babes, for Kumbale, you will learn it.
You're learning. Yeah.
And I think we meet intermittently, periodically, right? And he would always go over, okay, what have you learned?
Yeah.
What are you learning now? What do you think you want to do? I remember telling him recently, I'm like, I have my ICANN now. Do you think I should still be sitting with QA? The pay is
Yeah.
not coming in like that. I say, oh,
Yeah.
Lenye, you're a thief. Like, you have to grow. You would need to grow. You can't
Yeah.
skip the face. But you know what? Let me tell you, you feel like your value in the market has increased because you have ICANN, right? Can you try to make yourself valuable with this QA? And I promise you, Jumai, you will come back to thank me.
Yeah.
People will come for you. I
Yeah.
said, Mr. Paul, you
Yeah.
started whining me. Oh." He
Did
said,
you read about? Did you read this one you just said? Did you read
yeah.
about skill stacking
Uh,
in the Diary of a CEO?
yes.
Or was it that he mentioned it during that program? There's something called skill stacking where the combination of your skills becomes so rare that
Mm-hmm.
that's exactly what somebody is looking for and it's not common. So you can imagine your accounting knowledge and skill and
Yeah.
qualification and expertise and all that combined with this QA, it would
Mm.
there will come a time where you will stand out because of that still skill stacking because it's
Mm.
not common to have that combination of
Mission. Yeah.
skills. So really I think what I picked from that is having someone
Mm.
to sort of give us that encouragement is
Yes.
important,
Yeah.
and also daring to even want more. you
Yes.
know I don't think I'm at that level where I would want to move completely
From what you've
out of a
been.
field, something I'm already used to, it
Yeah.
would take a lot of guts to do that.
Mm.
So I think if somebody is listening right now,
Yeah.
I would say that we have to continuously ask ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
am I in the comfort zone? I liked
Yes.
what you said when you said, if you're stretching, if you're
Mm-hmm.
tired, it means you're stretching.
Mention. Yes.
You know, are we too comfortable? Because if you are not tired, if everything is moving smoothly, then there should be
Yeah. Yeah.
a call for action to say, I
Mm-hmm.
need to disrupt myself a little bit.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I think last one from me,
Hmm.
one last one from me is, if a young lady is
Hmm.
listening right now
Yeah.
to this session, what advice would you give the person?
Okay.
You know, and I'm saying this because sometimes I get these questions also on
Hmm.
my social media to say, how can I do this? I need a mentor. I need a what you've talked about, how you read a lot, how you
Yeah.
consistently go for programs to
Yeah.
learn and all that. You've talked about being within the right circle because
Mm-hmm.
you're the average of the five
Five
people
people.
you
Yeah.
around you. You've talked about, you know, just daring to dream.
Mm.
But again, I want something that somebody would wake up tomorrow and start implementing.
Okay.
If there is someone listening right now and the person is like, gosh, I'm lost, I'm too comfortable, I want to grow, I want to evolve, I want to get to the point where Jumai has gotten to, where now she is mentoring people.
Hmm.
Now she's mentoring people, now she's thinking about how do I give back. You
Mm-hmm.
know, what can they start doing from tomorrow? What is
Okay.
that thing that you would advise that, what, from tomorrow, start doing this? And if you start, that 1% incremental,
Yeah.
improvement over time would compound to make you that person that you really want to be.
Okay. Oh, I think the very first step, which a lot of people want to skip, because even I nearly skipped it, is the ability to look inward. You have to look inward. Nobody can do it for you, just you. You have to sit with yourself, quite all right, everything can be vague, but you need to have that ability to sit within yourself and say, okay, you know what, I want to do something, I do not have clarity on it, but I'll make an effort to have an open mind and an open eyes for people who might be around me that do this thing. That's the first step. Because imagine, after reading Unclip Your Wings, I just put it down and I said, I'm still looking for who to be. But I made a conscious effort to say, I think this woman has something that I'm looking for. I would like to connect with her. And I think that's one thing about me. I'm very curious. You have to be curious. Your curiosity would always, always get you somewhere. I don't believe anybody fails or any mistake should be regretted. I think you should always see it as an avenue that you've learned something. I do something intentionally where I don't know the route to a place, right? And maybe the cost of taking the map, it takes me somewhere else. Instead of complaining, I enjoy the ride because I know that tomorrow, if I were to come to that place, I would not
Yeah,
miss my way. So
yeah,
I want people to think of life as well like that. That okay, you're not making a mistake, but you are learning. You're getting the
yeah,
avenue to be two times better by
yeah,
tomorrow.
yeah.
Now, away from that, I would also say read. It's cliched. People say it a lot. Read. People will say, oh, there's no time, there's no this, there's no that. Read. You can make time.
Yeah,
It doesn't have to be 2 hours, 4 hours,
yeah,
And even your choice of reading should first start with things of interest. Because
yeah,
if you don't have a thing of interest and you're trying to build a habit, it will break.
yeah,
It will break. So try to start with reading. I used to read fictional books. but I
Yeah.
knew that it was not taking me anywhere. But I just
Yeah.
needed to have that habit that, okay, I like to read. And that has helped me. So in a month now, you can find me reading 3 books simultaneously. But
Yeah.
I have plans for them. Okay, I'm reading
Yeah.
3 pages of this one daily, 2 pages, 1 page. But you just have to commit to reading. Then another thing is, I kind of said it earlier, be curious.
Yeah.
Austin Kleon said, if you want to, nobody is bringing anything new to the table, which is the
Mm-hmm.
truth. Everybody is just tweaking something somewhere, and then we feel, this is an
Yeah.
innovation, but truthfully, no. So why not take out of the people who are already there? Whoever catches your interest, please feel free, look into that person. There is something that is taking, your interest in that thing. So pay attention to it and follow it through. And don't be afraid to just to lean in the words of Stephen
Yeah.
Bartlett. Don't be
Yeah.
afraid to lean in. The moment you're not leaning in, you're leaning out, and they're going to take you out of that place you think that you want to be a star girl or star boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think those are the things people can start to implement with. And if you can top your curiosity by the day, you would always find yourself venturing into something new, something new,
Correct.
something new, till you eventually get to that point
Where
where
you
you
want to be.
want to be. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's it for me.
Thank you so much. Thank
Thank you
you,
for
Jumai.
having
Thank you
me.
for this session. You know, I know that there is definitely something in you that you can share with us. And I know that this is just the beginning for you. Uh, I feel so happy to see the growth in you. I feel super happy. I'm going to put the link of Unclip Your Wings in the video
Oh,
so
please,
people
everybody
can
should
read
read
it.
it.
Because if Unclip Your Wings has done all these things, opened all this door for you,
Yeah,
I feel so proud writing that book. And I
you
am
you
super
need you
thankful.
deserve the garden, not just the flower. You deserve
I'm,
the whole
I'm
garden.
super thankful, super, super thankful because I actually didn't know Unclip Your Wings started the journey for you.
It
I didn't
did,
know
it
that.
did,
I
it
didn't know
did.
that.
And
So
the
yeah.
Go book.
And then
Yeah,
the Go book.
and
Yeah.
the Go book.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And yeah, I look forward to bringing you back. Let's say in another
I
three
want
or
to
four
come back
years.
again.
Yes. And then I
Yes.
can then say again that, when we did this was the growth. And
Yeah.
look at Jumai now,
You
breaking
have
world
me now.
record. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, my darling. Thank you
And
super,
I
super
want
much.
to also say a huge thank you to Sadiq, because if not for him,
Yeah.
I don't think
Sadiq
I
is
would
a
have
good
ever crossed
guy.
path with you. So yeah,
Oh,
if you're
thank
listening,
you.
Sadiq, thank you. You're the best.
Oh, thank you, Sadiq. I
Yeah.
would make him listen to this. He must listen to this.
Yeah.
Thank you, my darling. Take care of yourself.
Thank you. Thank you for your patience, your love, and being you. Thank you
Thank you,
so much.
sweetheart.
And my love
Bye.
to Do.
I will pass it on.
Thank you.
Thank you, sis.
Yeah, bye.